Hello everyone, welcome to Module 1's reading overview video. This is going to be a short video because I want us to spend most of our time reading the content of the textbook rather than watching videos about it. So I'm just going to give a quick introduction about the three chapters we'll be reading. These are chapters 1, 2, and 3 in our textbook, World Prehistory and the Anthropocene. Now this will be accessible through your ebook link in the modules. This is to W.W. Norton's ebook interface. Chapters 1 is about archaeology and the Anthropocene. So this is going to introduce the concept of the Anthropocene. This is the human relationship to our environment over time and the impacts that humans have made on that environment in different locations at different times. We're going to be looking at two different examples or case studies. These are island case studies. One is coming from the Pacific Ocean in the geographical region known as Polynesia. This island is called Rapa Nui. Sometimes it's called Easter Island. Many of us have probably been introduced to this place prior to taking this class, or at least have seen pictures of it. It's pretty impressive. Another example we'll be looking at is Greenland, another impressive environment to exist in as human beings. So the peopling effects of both of these locations and the impacts that they made on those environments will be framed within this concept of the Anthropocene in this chapter. And we're going to look at how archaeological science is able to use different kinds of reasoning methods, inductive and deductive reasoning methods, and we'll see those through the examples of observation and experimentation, how those are used to add perspectives for the archaeologists looking at the material records of these places, of their environments, and the interpretations they make. Chapter 2 will be about discovering diversity in our past. So we're going to be looking at a wide diversity of archaeological sites and groups of people, ways of living in this chapter and in others to come. In this chapter, though, we'll be introduced immediately to La Salle Caves in France. This is an important cave site that allows us to look deep into the human past and even hominin existence. Cave sites have been utilized by archaeologists to understand very long spans of time and what kinds of life have contributed to human evolution. La Salle Cave is an important site as it's an Upper Paleolithic site in activity during 17,000 to 15,000 years before present. So this is just before the last interglacial period began. We're going to look at some of the differences between cave sites and that of open air sites or landscape context to see what sorts of perspectives are added to archaeological interpretations and what kinds of different questions are asked and are answerable through those contexts. And lastly, we'll touch on some of the responsibility and ethics that archaeologists have and some of what the institutions like the Society of American Archaeologists says archaeologists aim to uphold in terms of the stewardship of cultural heritage and the material remains of those heritages. In chapter 3, finally, will be Technology Makes the Human. We'll be looking at how forms and different types of technologies that are left behind by human beings and our populations in the past, how they create timelines for archaeologists to understand and frame the sequence of events that occurred and to understand how human behaviors occurred in relation to one another over time. We'll be looking at examples of stone tool technologies to see not just how durable they are, but how long-lasting they are in the archaeological record, and that most of the archaeological artifacts that are found in the record are of a lithic stone material. It's rather significant, over 90%, I would say. And they persist over long periods of time, so we can see how hominin behaviors even contributed to technology making, and really quite literally how the tools that we have forged along the way have contributed to making us human. We're going to look a little bit more recent in time at the case of Otzi the Iceman, where rare finds were found due to the preservation context of being a very frozen environment, much like a boggy, swampy environment. The remains of botanicals even were found, which is very rare to find over thousands of years of possible degradation and taphonomy occurring. So beyond that, we'll be looking at some of the first iron metallurgy, looking at iron smelting in Africa around 2,000 years ago. Before we finish up the readings, though, I want us to take a look at the film Flint Knapping by Bruce Bradley. This is going to contribute to the discussions that you'll be making this week. So hopefully that can occur in the beginning half of this week. So parts 0 and 1 are completed, and making part 2 for your group's reporter a smooth and not rushed process. Okay, that's all I have for you about the readings today. I'll see you next